Welcome to the Ian and Taryn podcast.
Online.
All right, here we are. Welcome to the Ian and Taryn podcast. This is just Ian, and we're joined with my grandpa, Larry Fox, aka Larry the Fox. Yeah.
That's right. Otherwise known as Larry the Fox, also known as Grandpa.
Also known as Grandpa, also known as Poppy.
Also known as Poppy, also known as Dad.
Also known as Dad, yes.
Yeah, and I guess what it boils down to is, like we used to say in the Army, call me anything you want to, as long as you call me for pay.
As long as you don't call me stupid.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, anyway, let me say at the outset that it's a real pleasure for me to be on the world's greatest podcast.
Oh, yes, this is, in fact, the world's greatest podcast, and you haven't been on since episode 5, I believe, right?
I think it's when it was. I thought that would be enough to kind of shut down the whole podcast idea.
Yeah, we kept rolling. We kept rolling, yeah. Through adversity, here we are.
Well, congratulations on sticking with it all this time and
definitely.
In the future.
Yeah. We've enjoyed it so far. All of our 4, 5, 6 listeners enjoy it.
Come on. I see the numbers. You got thousands, millions.
Oh, yeah. On our way to millions, for sure.
Well, you got to start and build it up slowly, and that's what you're doing. That's great.
That's exactly what we're doing. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help.
Well, no, you're quite welcome. It's my honor.
It takes esteemed guests like yourself to push us forward here.
Yeah, you did say steamed, didn't
you? Ironed and steamed guests.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I got a few subjects that I thought that might be worth discussing a little bit.
Definitely,
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
I wanted to start out with the commercial I just saw yesterday for an online bank.
Right. And
the name of the bank is Rabobank.
Oh, God, meaning robo as in robot?
Spelled R-A-B-O bank.
Oh, wow. That's strange.
But just think of that, rob a bank.
Yeah, definitely.
So things like that happen sometimes. You think that, their advertising agency or somebody would be able to see that's not probably the best name for a bank.
Or at least a friend or a family friend or someone, would say something.
Yeah, somebody.
You don't need a team of people to tell you that's wrong.
No, that's right. The other one that I took note of was, the casino Morongo.
I do, yeah.
And just think of that, Moron Go.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And that's the case with, I would say, most casinos.
And most morons that gamble there.
Right, definitely. And if you do know what you're doing, it's kind of illegal to, say, count cards or anything anyways.
Well, that's right.
So
that's
it's really strange. But for me, or for how I used to do it, is like, if you want to play and have fun and get free drinks, then, you're kind of spending drink money as play money.
Well, that's true.
So,
I mean, you're killing time for sure.
Yeah, and as long as you're having fun and you're not, using your rent money or something, then you're fine.
That's true.
But I always go with the thought, whatever I bring, just know it'll be gone.
Well, the other name for Las Vegas is lost wages, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how they build all these buildings,
Of course. On the other hand, Trump didn't do all that well in Atlantic City.
What happened in Atlantic City?
Well, he went bankrupt.
Did he?
He had, I don't know, several casinos there, and he went busted.
Oh, God.
But now I have a question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
On a totally unrelated subject.
Yeah.
Just how wealthy is Jeff Bezos?
Oh, he is. Is he not the richest man alive?
Well, I just read an article which said that it would take the combined wealth of 2.3 million Americans to equal the $127 billion
Yeah.
that he's worth. 2.3 million Americans to equal that.
Oh, I know. It's really just insane, that kind of money. I don't understand what that means. You know,
Well, as you were saying that he's the world's richest.
yeah.
This article said that he has taken the top spot on Forbes' World's Billionaires list for the first time ever. And he had a net worth of $112 billion at the end of 2017. But now he has 127, so he just jumped up by $15 billion.
Oh, definitely. And nothing's going to change with that with Amazon. Amazon has basically replaced every store.
Yeah,
You know,
but
so.
And that was no accident. I mean,
Oh, no.
you know, if you think that they started with just a bookseller operation.
Definitely. Yeah, a garage, just like Apple, just like everyone else, started in a little garage.
That's right. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Again, on another unrelated item, excuse me. I saw an article which talked about vaping. I know you mentioned that, I think, on your last episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And the article says that vaping delivers cancer-causing chemicals
Yeah.
that get into the body, and popular fruity flavors appear to be the worst, researchers reported.
Oh, wow. I didn't, when I talked about this last time, I didn't know a connection to the flavors. I knew more of a connection to it's like a heating element that's made
Yeah.
of metal. So I was referring to the cancer caused by, I think, chromium, nickel, all these other metals inside of the coils.
Yeah.
So do you know what it is in the ingredients of the flavor?
Well, the article doesn't say, except to say that there are chemicals. It doesn't define.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Oh, that makes me curious because from my research and even when I was into it, I was making my own. It was, maybe 4 ingredients. I literally have no idea what they are now, but they were relatively natural. I want to say something like glycol this and something that I really have no idea now. But the whole thing is that it's only 4 ingredients. And for me, it was compared to cigarettes,
Yeah.
And I don't promote vaping. I don't promote cigarettes. They're both terrible for you. But if you smoke cigarettes, in my opinion, it's got to be much better than cigarettes, But
Well, I guess that's a debatable issue.
Definitely.
Because the article said that tests on teenagers have shown that those who smoke tobacco-based cigarettes,
yeah.
as well, have the highest level of these chemicals in their bodies. But those who vape,
Oh, wow.
also have higher levels of the cancer-causing chemicals than non-smokers do.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
I guess the bottom line is that while you may be right that it may not be as bad as smoking cigarettes or cigars or
Yeah.
chewing tobacco, still pretty bad.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And like the ads say, you're still blowing smoke, which obviously can't be good for your lungs. But as a way of getting off cigarettes, I kind of support that as long as you treat it as such.
Yeah.
Because some people tend to overdo the vape, because the cigarette's kind of harsh. So you might smoke 1 or 2 if you're a light smoker, but with vape, you can really vape all day long. So the nicotine you're getting, all these chemicals you're getting is maybe tenfold. So any kind of dosage like that is probably overkill no matter what.
Yeah,
So
I think you're right.
it's just one of those things. There's really no right answer for it, but
Yeah.
it's kind of kids will be kids at this point in my life. I think I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah. How would you know that?
Yeah, I was definitely a kid. I've definitely been down that road.
Well, we all did things when we were kids that, on reflection, we know we shouldn't have done. But
Definitely.
anyway, that's part of growing up.
Yeah. Well, in your day, smoking wasn't considered bad whatsoever.
No, in fact, it was considered the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
They smoke freely in movies, and
Doctors might smoke.
yeah, sure. Doctors would smoke while you're sitting there.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that.
I can remember one time being in a doctor's office and he lit up a cigarette and I called him on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good many years ago, but
Yeah.
I said, you're so concerned about my health. What about yours? Huh?
Yeah, like even if you don't know all the science, like this can't be good for you.
Well, I mean, everybody knew that it caused coughing, but
Yeah.
the connection with lung cancer, that didn't come out until later on.
Oh, definitely. And heart disease, hypertension, all that stuff,
Yeah, everything.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're kind of turning a corner, but yes, we're going into the vape. But given the two, I do kind of support the vape more. But like cigarettes, the science is yet to come out with the long-term effects.
Yeah, well, that's true. Although I think, I think the evidence is pretty good as far as cigarettes goes.
Oh yeah, I mean that's clear. Yeah, that's no good, and really just seeing it, I don't see it as much as I used to.
Right.
Like car windows down, cigarette out, out the window. I don't see that very much at all.
No, I'm sure that the number of people smoking has decreased, substantially.
Yeah, because there's just far too much evidence now to continue that type of thing. But
Right.
if you're a smoker right now, you're hating this entire podcast, I'm sure. But that's okay.
By the way, I wanted to take this opportunity to send a shout out to Oakmont residential community where I live here in San Antonio Heights in Upland.
Yeah.
Because it's really a great facility, and I don't mind plugging them at all.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. I like it too. We had a lot of fun at the casino night.
Yeah, so did I.
Very nice place.
Yeah, and you kind of made out like a bandit on that one, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I did kind of employ a method Taryn's uncle taught me.
Oh, really?
He said, like, when you put your business card in like a fishbowl, you're supposed to fold it in half. So when people go to reach for it, they kind of feel it.
Yeah.
So I think that method may have helped me a bit. Although,
you mean when you put your raffle tickets in?
Yeah, I folded them, but although I did really win a lot at roulette towards the end.
Yeah.
I must have had like 10 tickets or something.
Well, you were hot.
Yeah, I mean, the chances were good for me to win, but I also employed that method.
Well, they always say in gambling, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, like teaching people how to play roulette and all that stuff.
Yeah, maybe you taught. I was talking to one of the residents here last night. I got into a long conversation with a resident that's only been here about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
His name is Bob. And I said to him, well, he said he did well.
Yeah.
I said, well, my grandson did well also. He said, you mean Ian?
Oh, yeah. That's who I was sitting next to. Yeah, Bob. But there's a little secret to that I kind of waved Rhonda over to give him a few extra, you know, like $100 waivers. Because like he was out of money at one point, so I was like, hey, like, can we help him? So he did get a little boost that way.
Well, that's good. Well, he enjoyed it, you know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I had no idea he was a new resident because I was like, oh, do you know Larry? And he said no. I was like, oh, that seems weird.
Yeah, we hadn't met yet, but
yeah, it seemed like someone you would have known.
Yeah, when I got into a conversation with him last night at dinner, and then I couldn't turn him off, and he just went on and on.
Oh, really? Well, that's better than some of the people who aren't 100% there. It's still nice to talk to, but
he's a very I think capable guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how old he is, but he mentioned that he had his 90th birthday celebration.
Oh, so wow.
He's over that,
And was he in the military?
Just for, I think, a short period of time.
Okay.
But he's got a really interesting background. We'll talk about it sometime when we have the chance to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, on another completely different subject, Mark, I'm really bouncing you around here.
Oh, no, you're fine. I usually go full ADD on this thing, so we're actually more controlled than usual.
What do you think about the hands-free cars business?
I kind of have a stock answer for this, and the answer is these cars are designed to be under the limit of fatal accidents across the U.S.
Yeah.
So with that being said, problems will happen, but like those stats tell me if every car was autonomous, meaning it can drive itself, that the number of deaths or crashes would be lower than it is now. So does that mean it's perfect? No. Does it scare me that it can't, like, it can kind of predict situations as kind of X-ray to see through cars, but I feel like there's certain situations where you need, an alert human to react to this or that happening.
Yeah.
Which I just can't imagine a computer doing. But also computers fail. So then
that's for sure.
So that scares me a little bit. But
whether the failure rate is as high as the current accident rate, probably not.
Right. It's supposed to be lower. I wouldn't say it's like 30% of regular cars crash, say a day.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's more like 15% of autonomous cars would crash a day.
Yeah.
By the stats, so maybe, 7% can, but for me, if you're going to put human lives in this vehicle, it should be 0, which is kind of crazy to say, but it's hard to factor in, like, deaths will occur with this.
Well, but the thing about that is that while the autonomous car itself may not be responsible for the crash, another car could crash into it.
Oh, right. And there's so many different angles where another car can hit another car, like a T-bone. There's no way a human driver or the car itself can move out of the way. But it's just one of those things where it's hard to see hard stats on that. Like, we expect, 7% of these vehicles, however many percent, to crash and have fatalities. It's just part of the game. But with the number being lower than a regular car, I don't know. It's kind of tough. I do like the electric car, though. It's better for the environment, some would argue, because of the batteries and stuff, like rare earth minerals and stuff like that. It's kind of a tough sell when you're saying this is completely safe for the environment, stuff like that. But it's better than burning fuel and having exhaust.
Well, that's right.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of a give and take so far.
Yeah, the fact that the power that is used is electric, which has to be produced through a power plant, and which also is not good for the environment and all that.
Definitely.
There are a lot of pros and cons on that issue.
Yeah, and when they crash, the battery acid goes across the street, and
Yeah,
it's
and the disposal of batteries
yeah,
is a problem.
definitely. There's a lot of pros and cons. But if I had 90,000 to spend on a Tesla right now, would I? I would say probably yes. Well, if I didn't have my job now, because I drive so many places, if I had a routine job, I would
Yeah,
definitely get one because you charge at home, you go to work. Most people, I would say, maybe 10, 15 miles to work and back.
sure. Yeah,
That, yeah,
especially in an area like the LA area
right,
where
that's
everybody
perfect.
drives.
Yeah, and they have charge stations.
That,
But if
yeah,
you're in a rural area and you drive all over town, probably not the best situation for you. Um, so it's kind of give and take now, but as we've seen with, like, say, cell phone batteries, the technology will only get better.
yeah.
So we'll be getting weeks of charge eventually, or
Oh, sure.
solar charge,
Yeah,
something like that. The road will charge it. I don't know, something.
yeah.
So that'll eventually happen. That'll be better.
Can you imagine though how some of these things that we routinely take care of when there's an accident, you're supposed to call the police if there's a certain amount of damage or somebody is injured.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, if this car is running on its own without a body inside, yeah, how's that going to be handled?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I'm sure the insurance companies are working on stuff like that now because it would be easy to say you're driving, you could even say, no, I had it in autonomous mode and it crashed.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't crash,
Yeah,
and how do you
it was.
prove it?
Yeah, and if two cars crash into each other, which one was responsible?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I guess, the old story of the first Model Ts ever on the road crashed into each other.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know if that's a true story,
No,
but it
but
sounds
it makes
good.
for a good story.
It does, yeah.
What about you? What do you think about eventually trucks even becoming autonomous?
I believe that is a thing already.
I think that I think they're working on it, but I
Yeah,
don't know if they've perfected it. But you know, just think something like that. How many people could be put out of work because of that? The truck
definitely, yeah.
drivers.
But for some reason, I almost feel safer with that because of the speed they go, not too fast. Generally pretty straight. They have to maintain braking. They're not really changing lanes, doing all this crazy stuff. Like, U-turns are pretty much out of the question when you're pulling a trailer. I don't know
Yeah,
for sure, but I imagine that's the case. So it seems like, if anything, that's probably an easier job for computers to pull off.
yeah. I was just thinking more from a standpoint of creating huge amount of unemployment for the drivers.
Definitely. In fact, I just heard a stat that in, I want to say, 20 years, 45% of the jobs will be gone.
Yeah. What do you think?
But
Look,
there'll be
look at.
different jobs.
Yeah. Well, just think of Uber drivers and taxi drivers,
Definitely.
and all of that. That'll all be fall by the wayside.
Well, I can imagine you could probably think of most jobs you grew up knowing about likely aren't a thing now.
Oh, sure. I mean, and you can go all the way back
Iceman,
to.
Milkman,
Yeah. Right, well, that's right. Yeah.
all that stuff. So it's just, we'll adapt. We'll adapt like anything. People will still have jobs. It just won't be their current jobs.
Yeah. Or they'll be more on the technological side of things.
Definitely, yeah, because these robots still need repair so far.
Yeah, unless they can figure out a way that they can repair themselves.
Definitely. And speaking of the economy and all that fun stuff, did you hear that Trump's economic advisor just resigned?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did that
I'm
shock you at all?
not a bit.
I'm not
Not a,
shocked at all with anyone who resigns, and I almost applaud him at this point because you can't
well,
keep standing by this. Like, I don't want to go on an anti-Trump thing because I'm not particularly anti-Trump. I don't love what he is, but like things aren't going to hell right now. So he's doing reasonably okay. It could be a lot better, but if everyone like on your team is leaving you, there's an obvious problem here.
it kind of kind of suggests something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. And everyone says he's crazy, and his tweets would certainly make you believe that, so it gets a little tough.
What excuse me. What I'm surprised at is that he has these very senior generals around him,
Yeah,
and so far, none of them have resigned, and I'm surprised about that because I'm totally familiar with the kind of high standards that you have to have in order to get to that level of leadership.
yeah.
And I guess it's just a matter of time though before they too will finally say, I can't take any more of this.
Yeah, but do you think it's a question of whether they don't want to rock the boat and they're just like, this will pass if I make it through?
No, I think it's something else. I think that they have the feeling that they can somehow keep him somewhat stable.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That the best thing that they can do for the country is to stick with it
yeah,
rather than jumping out and leaving him to his own
yeah.
demise. And
Leave it
maybe
up to some guy who he appoints. Might as well stay in and kind of give your 2 cents.
try to somehow keep him in line, and my guess is that they probably have done quite a bit of that already.
I imagine so, yeah.
But,
That's got to be a tough job trying to keep him, sane, or when he flies off the handle to go, whoa, 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 calm down. Like, I can't imagine saying that to him, but someone's got to do it.
yeah, that's right. And
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to change the subject completely, so I think you were going to go back to something like that.
Yeah, well, go ahead. You change it.
Yeah, here comes the ADD section of the podcast.
Yeah. I got my ADD working here too.
Yeah.
My mojo is working.
And back to the economic thing. Bitcoin plunges today after speculation of it being potentially unlawful. And does that sound like what I've been saying since day one?
Oh, yeah.
I've been saying like one regulation. All this is straight up money laundering. So I wouldn't put a dime into it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it got it as far as it did.
But if you got in and you got out, I applaud you for having the foresight,
That's true.
But man, I could not imagine risking, I don't know how much. I think it started off a couple hundred, but now your couple hundred made you 10,000.
Yeah.
So if you did that, if you put a few thousand in, you're really making money now. But that's just so scary to me.
Yeah, to me, it was not that different from the old days. They used to have problems with pyramid schemes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it was the same thing. If you could get in and get out real fast,
yeah.
Okay, but if you hung in there, you're going to be hung out to dry.
Yeah, it's like the Bernie Madoff thing. Like, some people did make money.
Yeah, that's right.
But most people did not make money.
That's right.
That brings me to another thing I've been watching on Netflix. It's called Flint Town, like Flint, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a cops It's like a cops TV show,
Uh-huh.
but it's crazy what Flint. I think this was based in 2015, so a little while ago.
Yeah.
But with the water crisis, lead in the water.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you imagine you're taking a shower, you're drinking this water with lead in it?
Yeah, and your kids are coming down with all kinds of really bad stuff.
Oh, crazy stuff. Everyone's getting poisoned, and there's all these shootings, all this stuff. The police officers went from 300 officers to 98, and they're serving 100,000 people.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine that job?
Oh, terrible.
It just shows them going from call to call, like, sorry, we're a day late on this call. Fill out this paperwork. It's like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like the Wild West.
Oh, yeah, and the ordinary things that happen in a city, like burglaries, burglar alarms going off, so they can't react.
No, they will not react to that little stuff. It's like if it's not an active murder, they're not even coming till the next day. I could not imagine, and the police cars have squeaky wheels and all kinds of stuff. I almost want to donate some time, like, I'll come change your wheel bearing for you. It's a $60 part or whatever in a half hour.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah, that's a pretty lousy situation.
Yeah. But there just really is no fixing it. Hillary came to campaign there, Bernie came, and they're like, yeah, we'll fix it. And in my head, I'm like, but now what's being done? Why are we caring about a wall? Why are we caring about illegal immigrants? Any of that stuff. There's people in our country that are literally doing the worst ever.
I know.
It's scary.
Well, you think of the thousands, if not millions of people that are homeless, a lot of them for good cause. They lost their job, they don't have any income.
Yeah.
And they can't make their house payment or whatever. And what are we doing there?
It's crazy. In fact, I just heard a stat on Joe Rogan. It said if we didn't buy Christmas decorations for 1 year, we could solve homelessness.
I believe it. I believe it.
And that's a crazy stat to hear. And then you hear of these people like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and you go, maybe you guys can help a little bit. Like, I hate to be that person who's like, give me your money, you made so much money, because they earned it. But like, at what point do you kind of have an obligation? And you shouldn't be forced by regulations to help.
Well, that's true.
But then there's just straight up drug addicts and crazy people.
Yeah.
That if you gave them a house, they would not treat it properly, and it wouldn't be any better.
That's true,
So
but we should be able to screen people out so that those that are worthy go one way, and we take care of them one way, and those that have mental issues or drug issues are handled in another way.
Definitely, yeah.
But just to ignore the situation and say, well, it's bad, and nobody does anything about it. I think that's kind of stupid, really.
Yeah, and you watch the Oscars, all these, famous actors, actresses, I think they all want to be called actors now, so let me just say that, but they all have so much money, and literally down the street from you is Tent City. You guys don't think you guys can pull something together here? You know what I mean? Like, it's weird it's kind of a whole scene of fake caring.
Yeah.
You care on social media, but are you really helping? And not that I'm some activist for this. It's just like, if we're talking about problems, why are we blaming the president or senators or whatever, when it's like, you can go and help these people out if you handed everyone $1,
Yeah, that's true.
It's just one of those things.
Well, let me change subjects once again.
Yeah, sounds good.
I noticed at the casino night that you won a gadget that is like the the Google Home
It is, yeah.
that you got me.
Yeah.
Did you already have one of those?
We have a Google Home at the house, but I didn't. It's right next to me, so I don't want to say the A word
Yeah, right.
to turn it on. But I have the A word device now, and I find them very similar.
Yeah,
And
I'm
in
sure
fact,
they are.
the A word device is double the price of the Google Mini.
Oh, is that right?
It is, and
Yeah.
I don't see where all of it goes, but
But it's bigger though, is it?
no, about the same size.
About the same size.
Yeah, about a hockey puck size, I would say.
Yeah, I told you about me using it to find my phone.
You did, and that helped us that very same. I think the next night because we were making dinner, and we wanted to call Kirk to see where he was at. So we did that, but he did answer, but we didn't realize that the number doesn't come up. It says like unknown number.
Uh-huh.
So you kind of have to maybe let people know if you're going to use it to make calls on, that they'll get a call from an unknown number.
I see.
So that's a little strange, but calling your own phone is perfect for that.
Now, also, the other day I wanted to see if I could use it as an alarm clock,
Yeah.
and it works for that too.
Yeah, and it also works as a timer. When we put stuff in the oven, I go, hey, Google, give me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But also, I think you need to set up your Spotify on the Google Home.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'll have to do that when I come next because we had the trial. Are you still able to play music on there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've played. I've asked it to play all kinds of strange stuff. Like, I don't know if I told you. I said, "Hey Google." Oh God, I shouldn't do that.
Oh right, yeah. Give it a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's strange. Yeah.
Anyway, I asked it to play oboe jazz.
Yeah.
Came right up. I asked it to play bassoon jazz.
Yeah.
You know what a bassoon is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what I can't understand is how it reacts that quickly. Can you explain it?
I can slightly. It's because it's always connected to the internet, so it's like typing something in, but it's way quicker. So it's like typing in bassoon jazz into Spotify. It will find it immediately. But we love it for when we're making dinner or something. We're using our hands. It's like play some jazz, play some country, play whatever, and it's so nice to have that like ambient music in the back while you're cooking.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about anything. You can put on a timer in between. It's just great. And people worry like, oh, they're listening to you and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, everything's listening to you now.
Yeah, well, so they listen. What are they
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, you're gonna hear me talking about fixing a treadmill and making a steak. Like, okay, fine, as long as we're protected.
Yeah, that's right.
I hold security much higher than worrying about what I had for breakfast or anything like that. Yeah.
I think I told you I tested it by asking it to multiply two really long numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, 14,322,506 multiplied by another similar long number.
Yeah.
Came up with the answer immediately.
Well, not that you could fact check it, but what you think is the answer.
Well, yeah. Well,
relatively close.
Yeah, it's close enough for me,
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
So anyway, getting away from that, what do you think about the forthcoming Hawaiian trip?
Oh, I cannot wait for the Hawaiian trip. I'm getting my summer body ready.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm literally so excited to not be like I love cruises very much.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to not have to worry about being seasick.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Like I didn't get it at all on the last trip, but I took so much medicine just in case that I was basically like drugged up the entire time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad for that not to be an issue.
Well, it might not be. It might still be an issue if you take an excursion that involves going out on a boat or a ship or something.
Yeah, that I probably won't do. Just because I'm just so testy with the seasickness is not really worth it for me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
But
maybe the Lales will want to do it in Taryn, so they can feel free. Won't be for me though.
well, I'm looking forward to it too. I mean, I've been there several times, but it's been good many years now.
Yeah.
And also, to be with the entire family and everything, I find it to be really, really nice.
Oh, it's really the best thing ever. I can't imagine a better way of bonding. Like they've come for a weekend before, or even like a week for Christmas, but when you're on vacation and no one's at their home, it's like everyone's kind of neutral. It's
Yeah.
perfect. Everyone can relax. There's not like no one has to take care of anyone making dinner or whatever. It's really the only way to go.
Yeah, you're
as far as I'm concerned.
totally free.
Yeah. And speaking of being free, tomorrow, Thursday, this should come out tomorrow, Thursday, is Women's Day. So McDonald's, did you see what McDonald's is doing?
Yeah, they turned their M upside down.
Yeah, makes a W. So
I thought that was pretty cute. Really.
Yeah, that'll be fun for everybody.
Yeah. And
all right.
Speaking of McDonald's, did you guys hit that very often anymore?
No, not at all.
Yeah, me either.
Pretty much not at all. I've been eating a ton of steaks and oatmeal and that kind of stuff. Trying to put on weight.
And you are breaking out of your suits?
Yeah, I had to give away all my suits. So I'll have to get some more for the trip, I guess.
That's probably a good issue to have, though.
It is a good issue to have, but it gets very costly when you have to buy all new street clothes and suits and everything like that.
No, it's no problem. You just go to Goodwill and pick them up.
Yeah, exactly. Or in my case, eBay. And
eBay,
potentially other dead boys' clothes. Who knows where they came from? I don't ask questions.
I told you, going to mess up your podcast coffee.
No, you're fine. This is a normal podcast. Regular human stuff.
I told you about going to the Newport Beach Jazz Festival. They call it Jazz Party.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago. And that definitely deserves a shout out because it was just absolutely fantastic.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, no, it was so good, and to have all of these top jazz performers playing in all kinds of settings, trios, quartets, combos, big bands. Yeah, it just was really fantastic.
And you saw a few people there that you already interviewed before on your radio show?
I did.
Yeah.
I told you I was glad to see in one quartet that I had interviewed 3 of the people playing.
Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it was a good feeling. And so I highly recommend that to any jazz fans or anybody that is mildly interested in jazz.
Yeah.
It's an annual affair down there.
Oh, definitely. We'll put a plug along with Oakmont. Can't promise a ton of followers going their way, but maybe a few.
Hey, speaking of Oakmont again, I saw a movie on demand the other night.
Yeah.
And it's called The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh.
Did you ever see that movie?
Oh, definitely. I'd imagine most people my age have seen that movie. It's one of the funniest movies or, well-made movies I've seen in a while.
It is well-made, and I have to say, Leonardo DiCaprio.
DiCaprio, yeah.
Yeah, DiCaprio. I thought he did a fantastic job. Just Great acting
Oh,
job.
absolutely. In my opinion, I've never seen him mess up a movie so far.
Yeah.
Like my generation, we kind of grew up with him. Like any movie he made, we watched. And he's
Yeah.
just always so good. But you wouldn't know this. There's been a lot of memes, like, funny images of him trying to get into that Lamborghini.
Oh
When
no.
he's on all those Quaaludes and he's trying to open the door with his leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's been a lot of memes of that one going around.
Where he's crawling on the ground and trying to
Yeah.
get one
Or
hand up on the car.
yeah, or when he's on the boat and he's just like throwing money over the side.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of memes like at Chipotle, like I know guacamole's extra, and it's just like him throwing all the money over, like
Right.
a bunch of that stuff. So he definitely made an impact.
Okay, now you might ask yourself though, what does all that have to do with Oakmont?
Yeah, what does that have to do with Oakmont?
Well, I'm going to tell you. The name of his company was Stafford Oakmont.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought, oh, yeah, gosh, maybe I'm in big trouble here. There's a lot of gambling going on.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's all going to come crumbling down.
Down.
FBI is going to come in on you.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. This has been a great podcast, Bobby.
Well, I don't know about that, but anyway, I guess we made it through.
Well, we can both watch it back and judge ourselves very harshly.
Yeah. Are we already out of time?
We are out of time. Yeah, this is perfect amount. Our viewers don't like anything extra long, and we're past extra long. So
Okay.
we can always do another one.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm glad to have you on.
And thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to end the recording now.
Okay.
All right.
You've been listening to the Ian and Taryn podcast. See you next week.
Goodbye.